So you're moving to Warrensburg, Missouri, or you're PCSing to Whiteman Air Force Base, and you have so many questions. Oh my gosh, I can help you with that. Today, we're gonna talk about the 10 most asked questions by people when moving to Warrensburg, Missouri. And don't forget to like and subscribe right down below because I make a new video every single week all about eating, breathing, living, sleeping in Warrensburg, Missouri, near Whiteman Air Force Base, and you're gonna wanna get notified. Also, my contact information is right down below, and I get calls from people all over the world who are coming here and have questions, and I love talking to people. So, if you have a question, if you're moving here, reach out, text me, call me, email me. I love talking to people. Hello, boys and girls, and everyone in between. Eva Norton here with Next Door Agents. Today, we're gonna talk about the 10 most asked questions that people have when they move to Warrensburg, Missouri. So I got this list online. I basically searched a billion different sites and put out a billion different questions. Basically, you're moving to Warrensburg, Missouri. What are the questions you have? And I also use this really fancy AI code, and I looked all over the internet and I found the top 10 questions that people ask. So we're gonna talk about them. Also, if you're wondering what this pink thing on my chin is, I woke up with a zit on my face. So I put a heart on it because, you know, sometimes even makeup can't cover certain things. So I just thought I'd get that out of the way because last time I made a video with a zit patch, I got a billion questions about it. So yes, I am a human. I get pimples. Okay, let's move on and talk about the 10 top questions asked by people when they move to Warrensburg, Missouri. Starting off, we're gonna start here with number 10. Number 10 is, are there any local amenities in Warrensburg, Missouri? We have lots of local amenities. I've made quite a few videos about it, but we have multiple grocery stores, we have a movie theater, we have a post office, we have lots of banks, we have the Johnson County Board of Services, we have the Warrensburg Community Center. Oh my gosh, there's so many different activities and groups and clubs and events that you can get involved with. We have Warrensburg Main Street, and they do so many cool events in town. We have kids activities like Twister Sports and a bunch of Center Stage and Warrensburg Music Studio. So there are so many different amenities in Warrensburg. Oh, we have Parks and Rec. We have so many parks in Warrensburg. It's awesome. So, NASA Aquatic Center. Sorry, I'm like thinking of all the things I've made videos about. But there are so many different amenities in Warrensburg. There's lots of local businesses, lots of restaurants, lots of bars, lots of really cool things to see and go to and spend your time at here in Warrensburg. So we are a smaller town, but man, we're mighty. We're small but mighty. There's your answer. Moving on to number 9. The question of number 9 is, what is the average commute time to work in Warrensburg, Missouri? The answer to this question, I guess, would be, depends on where you work. Warrensburg isn't a giant town. It's basically about 10 to 18 minutes wide from one end to the other, so it's not very large. So the average commute time to work is 17.5 minutes, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. But depends on where you work. So if you live in Warrensburg and you're driving to Whiteman Air Force Base, it's gonna be between 10 and 15 minutes, depending on what side or area of Warrensburg you live in. If you live in Warrensburg and you're commuting up to Kansas City, your drive's gonna be 45 minutes. If you're commuting down to Sedalia or Clinton, your drive's gonna be 30 minutes. But if you live in Warrensburg and work in Warrensburg, your drive and commute is anywhere from 2 to 17.5 minutes. So not bad compared to places like California or Los Angeles where you have like a 2-hour commute time. Blech, gross. Number 8, the question is, what is the job market like in Warrensburg, Missouri? So the job market in Warrensburg, Missouri is generally good. We've actually experienced a steady growth rate in terms of the job market and jobs available for the past 15 years. So the main employers in town are larger companies, for example, the city of Warrensburg, Newcomers. There's a dollar store manufacturing distribution center right outside of town. There's a Warrensburg Hospital, so Western Missouri Medical Center. There is the University of Central Missouri. There's just a lot of jobs in this town. I actually make a video and talk about this. A really good place to find a job in Warrensburg, Missouri is actually a Facebook site called Burg Work. And lots of places in town advertise their open positions on that Facebook group. So if I went there right now, I could find 20 jobs to apply to just from looking at that website. So everyone is hiring in town. The town is expanding and growing. So job growth is steadily on the rise, and so are wages. Moving on to number 7, the question is, are there any special tax incentives for purchasing real estate in Warrensburg, Missouri? So unfortunately, there are no special tax incentives for purchasing real estate in Warrensburg. Bleh. However, Missouri does offer quite a few different tax incentives for purchasing real estate, commercial and residential real estate. For example, the low-income housing tax credit, the historic preservation tax credit, and the Missouri Quality Jobs Program. So for more information, please contact the Missouri Department of Economic Development. I also have a video about this, about some really great opportunities and really great programs like the first-time home buyers loan, the USDA loan, closing costs and down payment assistance programs. I have a whole video about how you can afford to buy your home and get help from the government and basically get these grants and free money that you do not have to pay back. So while there may be no specific tax incentive for Warrensburg, there are so many programs in Missouri that can help you afford a home. Next on our list, we have question number 6, and that is, what types of recreational activities are available in Warrensburg, Missouri? Answer to that question are so many things. We have a golf course, an amazing golf course. We have horseback riding. We have so many parks in this area. There's 9 parks in Warrensburg, and then there's Knob Noster State Park. So there's so many hiking, biking, walking trails in this area. There's also kayaking, there's canoeing, there is camping at the Warrensburg KOA. There's boating at the Warrensburg State Reservoir. So there's so many different outdoor activities that you can do here in Warrensburg, Missouri, if you just go online and do a little search. There's actually this really cool app called Hiking Trails where you download it and it shows all of the hiking trails in the area around you. I really like that one. We also have so many playgrounds. We have the Nassau Aquatic Center. We have a skate park. Not many people know this. We have a skate park in Warrensburg. So there are lots of activities that you can do yourself or take your kids. We're also about to get a really cool big new bowling alley. So stay tuned. I'm super excited about that. For more in-depth information about really cool activities that we have, I actually have another video all about the things to do in Warrensburg, Missouri. So if you're kind of getting an idea of like, man, what is there to do in this town? Check out that video. It's really cool. Question number 5, what is the crime rate like in Warrensburg, Missouri? So it's good. It's significantly lower than the national average. According to Neighborhood Scout, Warrensburg's violent crime rate is 18.8 per 1,000 residents, which is much lower than the national US average of 22.7 per 1,000 residents. So additionally, the property crime rate is also in Warrensburg is also lower than the national average. It's 35.3 per 1,000 residents, which is lower than the US average of 35.4 for 1,000 residents. This is definitely something that I see every day. Warrensburg, you just don't hear about a lot of crime-related things happening. A lot of people don't lock their doors, even though you should. There's just not a lot of bad neighborhoods or bad parts of town in Warrensburg. There really isn't actually any. We just don't have big problems with crime like they do in other big cities, which is awesome. We have a really great community. We have an amazing police force, and everyone here definitely takes care of each other as a community. So I'm sure there's outliers of things that happen, but for the most part, we have a very safe, awesome town. Moving on to question number 4, it is, what are the local schools and educational options in Warrensburg, Missouri? Well, I actually do a whole video about the schools in Warrensburg. We have a lot of schools in Warrensburg. It's the Warrensburg School District, which consists of the Warrensburg Elementary Schools, the middle school, and the high school. And then there's some private schools like the Warrensburg Christian Academy, and Sacred Heart Catholic School and Freedom Christian School. So there are definitely lots of different schools in Warrensburg, but they're all part of the Warrensburg School District. It kind of just depends what area you live in. And then right outside of Warrensburg, there's a Crest Ridge School District. So all of these schools are really great. There's great options. There's also the University of Central Missouri, which is the university, and you can go get a bachelor's or a master's degree depending on what you want to do. So lots of great school options in this town. We also have a very large homeschooling group online. Like, I know quite a few people in this town that are friends of mine that homeschool their kids just because they are military and they move so often. So that's also another great option. Question number 3 is, are there any restrictions on buying and or selling property in Warrensburg, Missouri? The answer to that question is there are restrictions, and that is basically just all sales have to be conducted within the Missouri real estate license law and regulations. So kind of just like any city or state, all of the transactions have to be in accordance with the local real estate board and local real estate laws. But there's nothing like extra special or extra for Missouri, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. With different types of loans, there's always going to be different types of regulations or restrictions. For example, with a VA loan, you have to occupy it within a certain amount of time and then live in it for a certain amount of time. With a USDA loan, you have to have a certain amount of land to go with it. With a first-time homebuyer's loan, you have to be a first-time homebuyer. So it just kind of depends upon what loan you have and how you're choosing to purchase it, with a loan or with cash or something like that. Moving on to question number 2. And question number 2 is, what type of housing is available in Warrensburg, Missouri? So many types of housing. So you can rent. I have a whole video on renting, and if you've ever watched any of them, you know how I feel about renting. Very similar to throwing money down a toilet. But hey, you can rent. You can rent houses, you can rent apartments, and those apartments can come with, how many, up to 4, I've seen apartments up to 4 bedrooms here in Warrensburg. With houses, you can rent, I've seen up to 6 bedroom houses in Warrensburg with a little bit of land coming with it. And rent prices vary. It's very expensive to rent in Warrensburg due to the university and Whiteman Air Force Base. Rents are very competitive. You can also buy, and you can buy anything from a townhouse to a apartment to a house with land. We have so many options in Warrensburg and so many different price levels. So that's really kind of great, especially for first-time home buyers. They can usually find something affordable that they like. And there's so many different neighborhoods. So you can find stuff with, a little bit of land, a whole lot of land. You can find new construction. You can find historic homes. We really kind of have a little bit of everything here in Warrensburg. Moving on, finally we're down to number 1. And the number 1 asked question is, what is the average cost of living in Warrensburg, Missouri? You will be pleased to know the answer that the cost of living in Warrensburg, Missouri is 4.7% lower than the national average. So it is less expensive to live here than lots of other places in the United States. The overall cost of living in Warrensburg is relatively inexpensive, with an average cost of living index of 85.2. This is lower than the national average of 100. Housing is the biggest factor in the cost of living, of course. And the rent is an average of $959 per month. So $959 per month for rent, compared to the national average of $1,461 per month. I like to tell people about rent because the average rent is $959 per month, but the average mortgage payment is usually lower than that. So you can buy a house and have a mortgage payment that is lower than what you would pay in rent, and you're not throwing your money away. I digress. Anyway, Warrensburg, national average cost of living is lower here than it is in just about any other big city. So if you're moving to Warrensburg, just know that the cost of living is lower, the job market is great, and you only probably have to commute 17.5 minutes to get to work. There you go. I hope you have liked my video. I hope this has helped maybe answer some questions for you. And if you did, make sure you like and subscribe right down below because I make a new one every single week and I hope you get notified for it. Also, if you have any questions, if you have anything to add, if you're moving here and you need help finding a home, do not hesitate. Reach out, call me, text me, email me. I love talking to people. I actually talked to someone yesterday from Mississippi who's coming here and I'm helping them buy a townhouse. That is fun. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye.